welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Join me today is Vasyl Shevchenko, former Transportation Minister of Ukraine. Vasyl, you know the regular thing. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to hear and to have a conversation with such important channel. Thank you, my friend.
Absolutely. You know, so I was doing some reading it recently, and one of the things I've recognized that since the beginning of April that Putin had doubled down on bombing Ukraine and sending a whole barrage of drones Ukraine, and it resulted in killing like 4 civilians. But I have to look at that from a standpoint of Russia now lose up to 1.2 million soldiers in this war since it had begun. And the reality, I hear that they're even running out of somewhat burial space. I don't know how true that may be. But it seems to me that Ukraine is neutralizing Russia as this war prolongs, from the standpoint that they're not making any more headway, and Ukraine is having their long-range drones going into Russia, hitting places that neutralizing them. So what is your input on all of this?
First of all, I'd say that Russia is trying to fight with civilians. You know that they can do nothing at the battlefield, and they decided to shift their point main hit, and they are bombing civilian cities, and they are bombing during a day when people are working and people are having daylight duties, and they are taking cities in different type of countries. And last actions, they have started hitting trains, and now we have the number of trains they have hit, and they are hunting for civilians. And now we are speaking how to avoid it and how to drill Ukrainians to be ready to leave trains immediately, train immediately if they have air alert signals. And you can see that they are using previous type of drones, and it's mostly drones which are being produced together with Iran, and we have seen the fact that they are exporting it back to Iran, and Iran is using it for taking, for example, United States Embassy in United Arab Emirates and in Saudi Arabia's countries. And all these events are connected with Russia's aggression and Russia's willing to dominate in the region and to pose threat for European Union, and to demonstrate that they are effective China's proxy. And in this case, I'd say that they have a lot of soldiers, they have a lot of artillery, and they are using different type of bombs, but now it's is not effective at the battlefield, because Ukraine forces are having control at the battle line, and we have only moving within battlefield. And now battlefield is about 50 kilometers. It's about 35 miles. It's battlefield. And for example, every day we have everyday statistics as a result of these combat events, and we can see that 9 Russian soldiers are being killed or heavily wounded at the distance 40-50 kilometers, and only 1 Russian soldiers can get to the battlefield from every 10th. And it means that Ukraine forces have started producing different type of pose for Russia's battlefield, and because of it, they are switching on bombing civilians. You know that during winter they were bombing critical infrastructure objects, and they destroyed power-producing plants, and now we are recovering, and 65% of natural using sources is removed and is working, and about 75% energy producing stations is repaired and is working, and we have enough electricity during this time, and we have electricity, and we don't need natural gas now, and it means that we can be more effective at the battlefields, and you know that Ukraine forces are fighting more effectively than Russia Federation, but nevertheless we have casualties every day. We have different type of funerals of heroes who died at the battlefield, and we can see that military forces of Ukraine has increased, and now you know that Ukraine forces are working in cooperation with United States Army, and now are cooperating in the sphere how to defend the neighboring Iran's countries together with Ukraine, with United States forces, and in communication with top officials, and it means that we are together, and we know that it could happen, because this axis of evil could act more effectively than people around the globe expected.
Okay, so are you saying that the European nations are now assisting on the battlefield as well with the soldiers?
European Union countries are not ready to participate in war in Ukraine, and they are not ready from the very beginning. They were not ready to cooperate with United States Army because of different reasons. We can discuss it, but nevertheless, they didn't join to United States Army, and nevertheless, they are covering Ukraine's expenditures through NATO bloc structure, to buy ammunition from United States, to provide it from European Union country. But you know that biggest threat is for Europe. If Ukraine army is fighting effectively, Europe is in safe situation. If something can happen, Europe will have really serious threats, and China is ready to encourage Russia Federation to demonstrate it, and now they are interested in having domination, taking advantages current situation with the energy resources, and taking advantages current events concerning providing energy resources in the globe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of energy resources, apparently Ukraine had strikes successfully launched into Russia would have caused interruption of the oil export. Now, we all know that oil is one of Russia's main sources of income. With this being said and done, we would have expected since last year that during the prolonging of this war in this year, that it more favors Ukraine opposed to Russia. Russia's economy is in shambles right now as it stands. It don't seem to have much manpower in terms of soldiers. Do you see in the near future that Putin may want to put an end to this war, or would he try to do more harm to Ukraine?
No, I don't think that Russia is capable to be more effective, because you know that Russia could take advantages with these prices for oil and energy resources, but Ukraine have managed to eliminate most of their export terminals. You know that at the Baltic Sea, Ukraine forces 3-day were attacking biggest in Russia oil terminal and fully destroyed it, including their ice-breaking ship. Military ice-breaking ship, which was providing opportunities to export this oil. And now we can see that Ukraine forces are capable to inflict serious blow inside Russia Federation, and Ukraine forces have eliminated the number of plants inside Russia Federation and the number of refinery, and now Russia can export only oil, but it's impossible because of their main terminal is located, one is in the Black Sea and is blocked by Ukraine forces, and they were working through Baltic terminal, and during last week Ukraine forces managed to eliminate it, and now it doesn't work, and it's suspended for 3 months, and they have no chances to export through Far East because they are limited in resources, and their railway state-backed company doesn't work correctly, because many challenges concerning suspending producing different type of fuels, producing electricity, and threats for rolling stock. Railways company doesn't allow them to use this exports terminal, and prices for transporting will be really huge. And it means that they have oil, but they cannot export its oil, and they cannot refine it for diesel, for gas oil, and different type of fraction. And it means that they will not be able to take advantages as a result of this spiking prices for energy resources. They are interested in it, and they may would be interested in ceasefire, but they cannot do it because they are not interested in having negotiations, because negotiations concerning ceasefire, it's only campaign for distraction, and they are demonstrating that they are ready, but actually they are not interested, because they are pushing by China to irritate European Union, to demonstrate the globe their opportunities, and weakening Russia Federation, because China is interested in domination above Russia's natural resources, and for example, they are having natural gas and oil from the Russia Federation, but prices for these energy resources don't cover expenditures for mining these resources, and it means that they are bargaining with China without any profit. And the same situation, for example, with India, when India fixed lowest prices for Russia's oil, and they cannot sell it according to the highest prices. And we can see that their budget will not have extra resources. They need for drafting new mercenaries, because their citizens mostly are going to join to military forces in a case they have problems, for example, with covering loans, with problems with concerning criminal cases, and concerning people who's ready to make money at war. But now Russia has no money for covering it, and different Russia's region which were promising to pay it are not able to cover it. And now you know that they decided to limit communication inside Russia Federation. They are prohibiting internet providers. They made operators to have special equipment for typing, and they are suspending for hindering YouTube working, and Telegram is prohibited inside Russia Federation. And you know that this channel was instruments for communication in Russia's army, because they don't have good communication, and they were communicating and based structure of communication this Telegram service. And now we can see that as a result of these problems, Ukraine forces managed to take advantages and took under control 400 square kilometers Ukraine's territory. And now we can see that Ukraine's tactic is working, because thanks to our partners, thanks to United States, European Union, Great Britain, who were providing us different type of air defense system, and now we have managed to combine different type of air defense. And for example, they are attacking Ukraine from the sky during around the clock, but they cannot inflict serious damages for Ukraine's infrastructures. And because this system is working, because we have advanced systems which is jamming their different type of combat elements. And in this case, our cooperation with our partner is effective, and we are building a full system which would allow to detect and to intercept this Russia's combat elements, unmanned planes, drones, etc. All these moments are crucially important for Ukraine.
That's beautiful. One question I want to ask here is that recently, since America had been engaged in this war with Iran, and it has approximately 2 to 3 weeks still enduring, does it have any impacts on the supply of military artillery to Ukraine? How does it impact the European allies in terms of facilitating your orders of getting the right military equipment to Ukraine?
As far as I know, it doesn't touch the program Pearl, because as far as I know, that United States President Donald Trump is trying to encourage our neighbors to join to special operation against Iran, and he is speaking. He commented that it's instruments to make them to suspend supplying to Ukraine, but after that I heard Marco Rubio's opinion, who commented that it is not working, and this program will not be cut and will not be changed, providing Ukraine will be done the same way it have been done before. And for example, we have this kind of supplying, and we know that it's partnership, and because thanks to this kind of cooperation, United States industry, defense industry, has received new levels of technologies and has received opportunities for development, for future development, because every day military technologies is changing, and you know that one from the biggest producer military vehicles and equipment commented that Ukraine is producing that in Ukraine house or women are producing drones, and they are switching. He commented that Ukraine's housewomen are switching on printers and producing drones for fighting. It means that it can be extremely effective if our women can produce these drones in their houses, and because technologies of waging war have changed. And now tank which has price up to dozen million can be eliminated. Couple drones which are produced by Ukrainians women at their kitchens, and it means that type of technologies is different, and exactly Victor will be on the side of which will be able to produce many different type of weapon, and will be more effective to have opportunity to exhaust enemies, and only after that inflict serious blow. And in this case we are on the right way, and we are working with our partners. The only thing that we haven't received mass producing ballistic missiles. Our producers are promising that it will happen nearest future, and we will have opportunity to inflict blow. And we know that Russia doesn't have air defense. You know that Ukraine's long-range drones are hitting their oil depots in the seaports, and have no any resistance. And their so-called expensive air defense missiles is not able to intercept drones, and exactly they will not be able to intercept ballistic missiles.
You know, one of the beautiful things about this, even though it's not nice to say beautiful things about a war, but to hear you say, Vasyl, that the Ukrainian women are making drones in their kitchens, and using these drones for battlefield purposes. I mean, a nation should take the leadership from your nation, especially women, because you are in a field of survival. You're in survival mode. You're conquering, you're stabilizing the offender, you're defending yourself very well. But parallel to that, you have women doing their part. And you know, I used to hear this old saying for years, that behind every man there's a successful woman. Well, now we have to say behind every invading country that can defend itself could also be a successful woman. And we got to extend gratitude to women, because back in the time you will hardly hear anything about women getting seriously involved in warfares. There would be the nurses, yes, there to take care of those who get severely harmed and so forth. But to actually hear them making drones and being a part of this military campaign that is going on, that is applaudable. Well, we got 3 minutes and a half left, Vasyl. Just give us a summary of what Ukraine probably is planning to go forward with in the future to keep standing strong.
I can say that now Ukraine is changing rights of waging war, and thanks to these results, we can see that Ukraine is having negotiations with our partners, and Ukraine has even invited United States military officials to cooperate in the Middle East countries' war, and we are proud that our specialists are working together, and that we will build together a good defense line for our partners. And it's promises we had from the very beginning, but nobody wanted to believe that Ukraine is capable to do it. And now we can see that it's possible, because Ukraine was a high-tech center Soviet Union, and now people who were living and their children are still producing extremely sophisticated weapon, which is cheap and which is capable to intercept different type of drone. But we depend on our partners, and we depend on partnership, because only combining different elements we can repel enemies' offenses, and we can be able to be together and to defend human rights from this evil, from this acts of evil, and we will be able to demonstrate it together. And because of it, I'd like to thank every American who's on Ukrainian side, and who is in cooperation with us, and who's understand us. And we know that most of Americans are on Ukrainian side, and are assisting Ukraine to defend our country, and to demonstrate our domination. That human rights will dominate in the world, and I'm sure in it.
Oh, on that note, Vasyl, we come to the last minute. I want to say thank you again for imparting such knowledge and information as to what's going on in the